Yo, what's going on people? It's your boy Huncho, back at you again with another video. And a bit of a location change for this next one, and we've got to head over to somewhere we don't normally start our stories off, and that would be in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, which is located in the United States of America. We also need to rewind near enough 17 years ago to 2004, where Poland native Gerard Boguslaw Zalewski was arrested by police as he had been under investigation after having several sexually explicit online chats with an undercover detective posing as a 12-year-old. They say he arranged to meet this 12-year-old for sex, but in August of 2004, when this meeting went down, he was arrested upon arrival because this 12-year-old was in fact an undercover detective. It was then, during the investigation, they discovered that 1 month earlier, he had previously had sexual contact with a 13-year-old girl in Bucks County, and when they discovered this, additional charges were filed. In November of 2005, Gerard would go on to plead guilty to involuntary deviant sexual intercourse and criminal attempt to commit involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, which are both first-degree felonies. Now, his bail was set for $100,000, and he did manage to put this bail money up, and he was set to return for sentencing on the 29th of March 2006, where he was facing 5 to 20 years in state prison. But if you didn't guess it by now, he never showed up, and believe it or not, he actually fled the country. But have a guess where he fled to? Yep, the United Kingdom. On a quick side note before we carry on though, because he fled, new charges of flight to avoid punishment and default in required appearance were filed, which could add up to 14 years on his prison term. Sometime shortly after this, Gerard's face would actually end up on the FBI's top 20 most wanted list for crimes against children. It's still up there right now, and I will leave it linked down in the description if you want to go and have a look for yourself. Now, when the FBI has your face on their website, then you know you've got a serious criminal on your hands. So tell me how he managed to sneak into the UK and actually went undetected for 10 years until he was arrested once again. Yes, that's right, Gerard had been arrested once again here in the UK for something that's all too familiar with him. There isn't too many details surrounding this case, but what we do know is that Gerard had relocated to Kent, where here he made contact with a 13-year-old girl online and manipulated her into sending indecent images of herself to him, and then he arranged for her to meet him at a park in Bomber Bridge, which is located in Preston, Lancashire, in June of 2016. In that same month, a manhunt was opened after the 13-year-old girl had came forward to police to say that she had been sexually abused by him, and on the 21st of June 2016, he was eventually caught by authorities in the UK and went on to be charged with 2 counts of penetrative sexual activity with a child, meeting a child following sexual grooming, taking indecent photographs of a child, and false imprisonment. This is because after he met this 13-year-old girl, it's believed that they went to a location which isn't named in reports, and here he taped her mouth with masking tape, put a dog collar around her neck, wrote the words "rape me" on her leg, and sexually abused her for several hours. He then proceeded to take pictures of the girl on his mobile phone. To this, he pled guilty to the charges that were brought against him, and he was then sentenced to 8 years in prison with a 4-year extended license period in November of 2016. After his sentencing, the FBI were then notified about his whereabouts. District Attorney Kevin Steele said at the time, back in 2016, that once he served his time in England, they want to extradite him so they can lock him up in America. Although at the time, UK police authorities said that no decision had been made in regards to whether he should be extradited or not. After the sentencing, Detective Chief Inspector Vicky Evans of Lancashire Police's Public Protection Unit said, "Gerard is a dangerous and predatory sexual deviant who posed a significant risk to children across the country. He groomed this vulnerable young teenager before arranging to meet her, knowing that she was under 16. He then filmed her for his own gratification. We welcome this sentence, which will mean the public, especially children, particularly those who are vulnerable, are protected from him for the foreseeable future. This case highlights the risks and dangers faced by children with online grooming. It is important for parents, carers, and guardians to talk to your children who they communicate with online, who are their friends, and how to manage these online relationships." So you might be asking yourself, well, why am I bringing this up now if it's only been 4 years since that sentencing hearing? Well, believe it or not, after serving 4 years and a bit in UK prisons, it's believed that Gerard will now be sent to the United States of America to be sentenced. A source told the Mirror newspaper he's evaded justice for 15 years, he needs to be brought back to the United States as soon as possible. Once his sentence has passed the midpoint in the UK, it was time to get him back. He is due before the court again at the end of this month, February 2021, via video link in proceedings under the Extradition Act of 2003. Here it's believed firmly that he will be going back to the United States of America. And so what I really want to know is how Gerard got into the UK, an extremely dangerous offender when it comes to committing crimes against children. I don't think I've ever seen this before, and I mean, even in 2006, this man shouldn't have been able to get into the UK. And to top it all off, realistically, if he never reoffended, he might have never been caught, because no one's really thinking if you're on the FBI's most wanted list, you'd be living in the United Kingdom. It's never heard of. But the fact that he did go on to reoffend again, this time to the extreme that he did, literally makes me lost for words, to be honest, because if he was never able to get into the country in the first place, that 13-year-old victim wouldn't have gone through what she went through. But if it is one thing about the American justice system and the prison system, at least when it comes to criminals like this, we can all rest easy at night knowing that he's not going to have an easy ride in jail. But let me know what you guys think of this down in the comment section below. Give the video a little like, and if you want the latest drill, street and music news out of the UK, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. It's been your boy Huncho, and I'm out.